Hello everyone, so let's keep going with the previous video. This time around we lathered, as you guys saw in the previous video, and we're gonna show and answer all the questions about the shave itself after the preparation and after the lathering with this great leather there. Let's go. Let's get the Fatip that we loaded on the previous video and keep going so that these videos are not too big. I decided to divide them in two. If you didn't watch the previous one, go and watch, and I'll leave it in the link at the end of the video. So let's go. Now, if you're starting, I do not advise a Fatip open comb. I advise something like Parker 78R, mild, Muller R89, Edwin Jagger D89, and Forshoff Timor, very gentle. You have the Hansen, and I talked about all of them already previous, so you can see the Hockwell 6C or the 6S, good one to start with as well. So you have loads that you can choose from, mild ones, that's what I advise. Just start with and get used to it. Don't go straight for an open comb or a very aggressive razor, but this one is just for demonstration purposes. Now, when you start, go gentle, take your time, don't rush it. I said in the previous video, you have to map your face, and that will take time. It's not at first, it's not at second. It took me months to identify everything, because it's only during the shave that you'll be able to do that. And I'm gonna say it again, my growth here looks that when I go like this, looks like I'm going against, is not against, is actually across. If I want to go against, and you can see my first few videos, I used to do the mad face, and I would go like this. This would be against, because most of my growth here goes like that. Goes like that. So I would be going against it. Like this is kind of across, actually. The only part that is actually against is on the cheeks, but the cheeks I'll go with and against, and that's it. I have a BBS on the cheeks all the time. It's not that sensitive. If it was sensitive, if it is for you, then go across first, and then you can do the third pass if you need to. In my case, I prefer not to, even if I don't get a BBS. Even if you don't get a BBS in the beginning, which it's really hard because you don't have the technique yet, don't worry about it. Once you have most of the growth taken off and you don't have nicks to show or anything, no one is gonna notice that you still have one or two hairs there. No one notices. It's us that are picking, oh no, I missed this spot and we won't have to go again and all. No, don't worry about that. You'd be better off just do it. It's okay. Maybe not a BBS, but you're still learning, and it takes time. Nowadays, I still miss from time to time. I would say it was last week. I thought I had a BBS, and then after an hour, after everything, I was touching my nose and I felt a few hairs up there. I was like, oh, I missed this spot, like, you know. But that's no problem. And nobody notices. It was just me that noticed it. So that's it. Take your time, map your face, see where your growth goes, so that you know, first pass you go with, second pass, if you don't want to, if you're very sensitive, go across. And then if you feel that you can handle it, go against on the third. I normally prefer to do a 2-pass shave. Normally I get BBSs like that. I go with the growth the first pass, then I go across on the bottom there, but then I go against on the cheeks on my second pass. Complicated areas for me are around here and around here, because it's kind of swirls, and the other part as well is under the nose, because it's hard to get with a razor. But I'm talking too much already. We're gonna start shaving, and I'm gonna be talking during the shave. So let's go. First pass with the growth, you go slowly and gentle. Don't make too much pressure. Let the weight of the razor and the blade do its job. Always, if you feel that the blade is not doing its job, change the blade straight away. Okay? If it's not cutting, if you feel that it's pulling the hair, change the blade straight away. So let's go. First pass. This is a Fatip with a Gillette Platinum blade. First use. There we go. Another thing, I don't do it as much now because I know what I'm doing, but in the beginning, stretch your skin a bit so that it lifts the hairs already. Okay? Even though you already lathered and all that stuff. Let's go. Stretch. Gentle, right? I didn't do any pressure on my face. I just go gentle. and the blade will cut. The razor has the weight enough to do the cut, and most of the growth is gone on the first pass. And this only against you be able to feel the growth, which I do feel there. That's why I do the second pass. But if I go like this, like I went with the blade and the razor, I don't feel anything except here. As I said, my complicated area, and I have loads of swirls around there. Now, if you have a soap that it's too dry, it won't help the blade and the razor to glide. That's why we say plenty of slickness to leave it go down. Post slickness is when you've already passed, because that's another question I was asked. We normally look for the post slickness just in case we want to buff. If I miss a small spot and I want to go back again, I don't need to go back to the brush. There's still plenty of slickness there. Some soaps you need to put a bit of water there, right? Others they leave a lot of slickness there already. You can just go again with. This is especially important if you're gonna use a straight razor, which I don't advise if you're a beginner. Please start with a D, learn your face first, and then you can go with a straight razor. Try it as well. So let's keep going. Gentle, no pressure, stretch. That's done. First pass there on that cheek. So you guys can see most of the growth is gone, although I still have a small bit there. Sometimes I pass a second time on the same spot, even gentler. So no pressure. I'm not making any force on the razor and the blade. Okay? Don't worry about taking all the growth on the first pass. So let's change to the other side now. Clean up the other thing. And sometimes I do that mistake. I leave too much leather there. It's actually more for the video. I have to be honest. Other times I'm just too picky. I go straight first on the first. I don't even turn the razor around. But you can do that. You just turn around and it's like a brand new, and you just go. Or do like I do, go straight in under the water and take most of it. In this case it's open comb, that doesn't make much of a difference. But if it's a closed comb there, you can leave the leather and the hairs in between the blade and the razor, and it won't cut as efficient as if you go there and clean up the razor. So that's it, just keep cleaning the razor. Let's keep going. The other side, same thing, gentle. Don't make too much pressure. Stretch your skin a bit, just to lift the hairs. And let's keep going. Turn. Now that's filled up, we go wash back again. Keep going now. As you guys saw, I went down with the growth everywhere. Do the same on the bottom. Some people have very pronounced apples there. You just push to the side, stretch the skin to the side, and then you'll be able to get all the growth there. Push to the other side. Now, sometimes I go the bottom, other times I go to the mustache, it doesn't matter. I just do the same thing, not much pressure, go with the growth. Now, on the beginning when you're starting, don't do like I do sometimes. I normally sometimes go like long strokes. No. Don't do that. Go slowly, because you're still learning. You still don't know the right pressure and the angles and all that. Just go small strokes. Until you know what you're doing. Once you know, then you can start trying longer strokes, like so. But in the beginning, go slow, take your time, do small strokes, which is easier than a really long stroke, especially if you don't know the products yet, which that is another thing. If the blade is one of those ones that is duller, it's harder to do a long stroke like that, for example. But that you'll learn what's good for your growth and good for your skin in time, not in the beginning. So in the beginning, just go slowly. It's actually one of the reasons I chose this open comb, so that it doesn't give a tendency to me that I'm so used to go with a long stroke, because with a milder one I would have been able to do just long strokes easy enough. Like, so to demonstrate, that's the reason I'm using this one more aggressive, so it gives me a tendency to go in smaller strokes and not long strokes. Let's go mustache area. I normally stretch the skin like so. When I go against, I'll show on the second pass, but on the first pass I normally go like so. Now, underneath the nose sometimes it's hard depending on how your nose is. When I stretch, sometimes even when I stretch, I don't get all the hairs there. So I like to go like this, do this motion, but that's me. You have to learn your own body, your own curves, your own chin area, where your face rounds it up, so that you know what you have to do on your face. As I said, that takes time. So that's it, we're done. Now we're gonna get ready. By the way, I have to show something so you guys can see that it is not a big deal. Look. Can see there, I have two small pimples. I spread them, this one and this one. That's not a problem. You just put something there afterwards. I'm not even gonna use Alamo styptic pencil because it's not that bleeding that much. I know for a fact the water will sort it out in a minute. So don't worry about nicks and stuff like that. That's something that it's easily dealt with. So let's go. I'm gonna take this off. The reason some people don't take this off, go straight to the brush. I like to take it off first and leave it soaking, so there's more water there, because if the soap is good, you'll still have slickness there. Even when you take it off, you'll still have the post slickness there. And then when you go into the brush, there's that layer of water that you leave there, which helps to form more lather. So let's take this off. There we go. As you guys can see, loads of water still there. I don't pat my face there, I leave the water. We go back to the brush, start lathering. Now, in this case, I know I still have growth here. On the cheeks, I don't like to go too hard on the cheeks. I like to do kind of like this. Now, here I have growth, so what I'll do is the reason I do that is because it helps to lift the hairs, as I said on the first pass, but I don't go as hard. And in this case, because it's a cheap brush and this synthetic is really hard, I have to be careful, and I'm using just the tips there, not going too hard on it. Let's go. The reason you don't want to go too hard is because you already irritated your skin a bit when you went with the blade. So if you go with the brush, another reason why a lot of people like the softer tips and all that stuff. For example, this Frank Shaving Leather Master G7 knot is very soft, it's perfect, and it's a synthetic as well. You have the T3, which is this one is price performance is one of the best as well. Very soft tips, but a lot of backbone for the first pass where you want a bit more harshness there. Really nice, and retains some water. And this is just the synthetic knots. Like, if you want to go more complicated, you have badger knots, which become really soft as soon as the water hits them, although they're a bit hard there. And then you have the same with the boar ones. Boar ones, I love them because they're really hard. They last a long time. The only thing is they take a bit more time to break, but once they're broken, they become really soft. A pleasure to shave with. It leaves always a bit of backbone there, and the tips become really soft as soon as they break. It's just perfect. So that's just my small explanation there. And then we can just keep going. The thing is as well, when you're doing like this, it's still forming, especially if the soap is good. You don't need to go harsh. Sometimes I do it, as I said, it's more to lift the hairs that I know that are still there, or because I do the ASMR videos, as you guys know, and sometimes you need a bit of noise. Not that I like, and sometimes that leaves me a bit red around here. So you don't do that, so avoid doing that. Just go like if you're painting, basically, just brushing away. There you go. As you guys can see, still loads there, still forming. And if you feel that it dry up on the brush, don't forget, you can always add more water. You didn't need to, I'm just showing. There you go. I would say we're more than ready. You guys can see, still loads, still picking, and I still have enough to go for the third pass, which I will not go. But if you need to, you know you have enough there. And it be even gentler when you go on the third pass. That's with both the brush and the razor. Now, I said on the previous video, I'm gonna repeat myself. My growth here, as I mapped it, it's completely different than most people. Besides the swirls there on both sides and here, my growth goes like this. Not like this. Most people actually goes like this. So when I goes completely like this. So when I go like this, they think I'm doing against. I'm not. I'm going across in my particular case. This is something you're gonna have to look by yourself when you're starting and when you're shaving. Pay attention to where your growth goes so that you know first pass with the growth, second pass across, and then third pass. If you need, you can go against. I'm gonna just show my across, which is like this. See? Because my growth actually goes there. The against would be what I used to do in the beginning, the matte face. That would be against, which I'm not gonna do now. The only place where I only do two passes and I go with the growth and against is the cheek area, because it's not as sensitive for me. It's way easier and I'm always able to do it. Don't ask me why, but I'm able to do it. Some people are not. I don't know if it's because my hair is not as coarse there, which it is on the bottom, and I don't have swirls or anything. It's very straight down there. That might be the reason. Let's keep going. Never forget, not too much pressure. Let the blade do his job. Always stretch your skin a bit. You don't need to stretch a lot, just a small bit. Just to lift the hairs, and it's easier for the razor and the blade to glide. I'm doing something there. I just catch myself there now. I'm doing long strokes. If you're new, you don't need to go long strokes. Just go slowly, like so. It's just a force of habit for me to go with the long strokes. But if you're starting, just go slowly. No pressure at all. Just go slowly in small strokes. Okay? Now, for me, I'm not gonna go across here now. I'm gonna go against straight away on the cheeks because I can cope with it, and it gives me a great shave like that. Some people are not gonna be able to do that. So if you're starting, I advise you to do the 3-pass shave to start with and learn. And then you can see, oh, hold on, I can do a 2-pass shave like this. I have actually a razor that I can do a 1-pass shave, and I'm talking about the Mula R81, which is more aggressive than this one, even though it doesn't look like, but it is. I can actually do a 1-pass shave with that razor. Talking too much already. If you're starting with, go across like so. I'll do just this bit here. See? Go across and then you can go against. In my case, I'm gonna go against straight away on the cheeks because I can cope with it and it doesn't give me any trouble. On the other hand, I'll be able to do a 2-pass. I don't irritate them as much. The blade, that's the other reason why you try to do as minimal as possible so you don't irritate your skin. So if you're able to get a BBS in 2-pass, just do 2-pass. There we go. This is the other thing, a trick I found out by myself. Because my complicated area there swirls, when I go and do the cheeks against, I always pass there like so. And then when I go across on the chin area, I pass again on the same spot because there's still plenty of sleekness there. I just stretch the skin a bit and I go across on the same exact spot. Sometimes I need to go a second time and do a bit of buffing like I'm doing now, because I feel there's still hairs there, still cutting. See, this is a complicated area for me, and this is what I do, what I learned to do in time. As I said, everyone is different. Take your time to learn your face, learn your growth. So now let's go to the other side. Exactly the same thing. Stretch a bit. Now we've done this side there. I know for a fact I'm gonna have some feedback there. You guys can see it's kind of reddish there. There's small pimples that I have, and that happens. As I showed you, I already went up there, so now I go across here. There you go. I would say it's more than enough. I don't feel any growth there at all. Keep going. Here, the Adam's apple, I'll go kind of on a perpendicular way, like so. Not up, not sideways. Perpendicular. Do the same on the other side. There we go. And now, easiest part here. Sometimes here I just go across, stretch the skin a bit. Small strokes. Getting a few nicks there. The reason being I'm talking and it's hard to shave, talk at the same time. So if I wasn't talking, most of these nicks probably wouldn't have happened. But it happens from time to time, especially when you're beginning, it will happen plenty of times. But even with discardable razors, that used to happen to me. So I'm almost sure that it happens to you as well. So let's keep going, mustache area across. Be careful if it has overhanging for you not to nick your nose. Do the same on the other side. There you go. That's me done. Mustache area actually needs a bit more care there. Perpendicular now. Buffing. Because this soap allows it. If it was a different soap, might have to put a bit of water or go back to the brush. Do the same on the other side. That's it, we're done. A few nicks because I've been talking, but just to show it's normal, no problem whatsoever. So let's take this off. I'm gonna show how much I still have left on the brush, and then we'll do the post shaving. Now, there we go. Not gonna pet because I'm still gonna touch my face and everything. So there you go. Let's see what I have left on the brush. As you guys can see, still plenty. This would have been enough for another pass, easy. Now, the reason I do this, especially with artisan soaps, is because they put so much goodness into their soaps, so much ingredients that are excellent for your skin, that I don't want to waste the leather. That's the reason I do this. Instead of wasting the leather, I'll use this. I will do a quick wash with it, because the good stuff is gonna still sink into the skin. Not the whole thing, but there's still a bit there, and I don't feel that I'm wasting as much as well. That's it. Now, we're gonna take this off. And then I'll use witch hazel, so let's take it off. Now, there we go. Now we'll pat our face. Don't scratch the face, at least I don't do it. I'll just pat the face and actually leave a bit of moisture still there. This is more than enough. Now, I have the alum. I'm not gonna use the alum. Some people love the alum. I used to do the alum before as well, but I've been finding that the witch hazel leaves my skin much better. Maybe because I'm a bit more sensitive, I don't know. Sometimes I still go with the alum. Basically, if I feel that I have too many nicks, actually like today, I would go with the alum. But not today. I'm not feeling it, especially because it's warm, dries up, and the alum tends to dry my skin up. That's the reason I'm not gonna use the alum, and the reason I haven't been using the alum as much. I like my witch hazel. Now, I like to put it. I don't like to just scrub. Don't scrub, just gently put it on your face. And that's it. Bit of feedback there where I had my small nicks, bit here, but not much actually. The other thing as well I forgot to say, when you do the second pass, sometimes you feel that you still have growth. Don't ever forget that after a while your growth goes back into the skin. Sometimes feeling a bit of growth there is not much. If you wait a bit, you'll see that it goes back and it's just PBS. So that's another thing to count with. Sometimes we feel a bit and we want to keep going. No need for it. And you'll see that in a few minutes I'm gonna show you like my complicated areas. Sometimes I feel that there's still a small bit there and I like to go a bit more. That's the worst you can do. It will just irritate it. That's it. I'm gonna let it dry. I like to wash my stuff before the post shave because it leaves the skin to soothe a bit. So I'll see you in a bit. We're back. Now, what I do when I say I'm gonna wash up all my stuff is I'll take the blade, I dry up the razor with my towel straight away, because the less water it has, the less prone to rust and decay it will get. I have a magnet here where I put the blades to dry so that I can use it a second or third time depending on the blade, but I never use blades more than 3 times. That's the maximum I do on all of them. I wash my brush, so take most of the soap and then dry it up on the towel like so, and that leaves the skin to settle a bit, gives me time, lets the witch hazel dry up, lets the alum, in case you use the alum, dry up a bit, and now I'm ready to go for the post shave. Now the post shave we're gonna keep with the set green, Proraso Green. Before I start, I'm gonna address something. Most people put the splash first and then the balm. Some people say it's better to go with the more liquid stuff and leave the more dense stuff for the end, like putting layers on it. In my case, I always found that I get a better feeling when I go first with the balm and then the splash. But that's my particular case. You can do your own experience and find out what it suits you. In my case, I've done a few times on the other way, but I always prefer to put a bit of the balm first. I always did it even before I started shaving like this. And the reason being, I'm gonna explain again, because it leaves my skin more suited to get the alcohol, which burns, which has sometimes the tendency to dry up, and I think my skin feels better if I put the balm first. There's another reason, because balms kind of are oily and creamy. They tend to, when you put the splash with this intense scent, they tend to leave the scent for longer. This was a technique used in the old days by perfumers. Put some oil or some Vaseline, something really oily on your skin before you put the perfume, and that would make the perfume last longer. That's the other reason I do the balm first before the splash. Let's go, balm. I'm gonna say it again, I tend to overload on almost everything, including balms, so I put a bit too much. Because I overload it, I tend to put a bit. I'm a bald-headed guy, so I put a bit on my bald head or my forehead, just so that I don't waste the good stuff from the balm. That's it, that's balm done, and now the splash. Let's go, splash. Bit of burn there, burn on the bottom there, and burn here where I nick myself. Normally, I like to slap myself when I get a lot of feedback, but gently. There you go. Helps to dry up quicker as well. And that's it. That was our shave, our demonstration. I hope I answered all the questions you guys asked. If I didn't, just put a comment below, ask them again, and I might address it in the future. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to put a like on it. And if you want to help the channel even more, there's my affiliate links down below. I hope to see you in the next one. Bye-bye. Ciao.